my medical coding family. How are y'all doing tonight? Happy Monday. Let's see if you guys can hear and see my starting screen. Yay, awesome. Great, thank you. Thank you guys for the thumbs up and the hearts. Hey, Holly. Hey, Moga. Hey, Jen. Hey, Renee. Hello, another Jen. There's like 3 of us in here tonight. Hey, Becca. Hi, Ibis. Hey, Renee. Go Kart. Good to see you. Hi, April. Hey, Crystal. How's everybody doing? Hey, Patrice. Good to see you. I hope you were able to watch Friday's live. Hey, Christy. Hey, Erin. Hey, Allie. Good to see you guys. Did anybody take their exam this weekend? Hey, Heather. Good to see you. Hey, Blondie. Hey, Nicole. Good to see you. Really good to see everybody. Hey, Lynn. Good to see you. Oh, Lord. It's my kid's school again. Hit that to that. Sorry. School starting, you know, every, really soon, and they keep calling every night at 6:30 saying reminder of this, reminder of that. Driving me crazy. I can't believe my kiddos, my babies, are going to be in high school this year. I mean, it was just last year I was taking Travis to backstage with me to meet a couple of movie directors for Breaking Dawn. Yeah, and he was just a little bitty thing. Oh my gosh, it just seems like yesterday. Can't believe he's fixing to be in high school. April's exam is going to be on August 5th. It's 5th. We've got Dev is going to be taking theirs on July 29th. Hey, V. You took your test yesterday and you passed with a 96. No way, V. Wow, we got 36 of you guys watching. A 96, you're going to get one of those special AAPC certification certificates when they mail you something in the mail. If you don't get it, I don't know if that was your first attempt, but if it is your first attempt and you made above a 90, you're supposed to be in some alumni thing that your certificate comes with an extra acknowledgement. Not that anybody needs that for a job, but it's kudos. It's good. It's good to have. It's nice to see. 96. That means you got 4 questions wrong on 100 questions. That's awesome. I'm sure you did most of the work, and just a few of my tips would have helped. But good job. I know you've been in here religiously watching my live, so that is awesome. Good gracious. If you do get one of those certificates with the special alumni thingy on it, you got to send me a photo of it. I've never seen one in person. I wasn't even going for that because I refused to learn E&M. And then when I got down to the exam, I refused to learn MA surgeries because those were complicated with their own guidelines. Those are the two things that I knowingly refused to learn for the exam. It was just too much. And but then when I got to my exam, I couldn't find any of the lab and path or medicine codes at all. And that was the end of the exam. And by then I was tired and I didn't know there was any out of code sequencing and that I needed to put the page numbers down with all those codes. And I just gave up and just was like, okay, I'm done with this test. Let's go. But I still passed. But my goodness, that's a very cool score. Congratulations. That's awesome, V. That's awesome. Ooh, I don't know if anybody was in on the workshop yesterday, so sorry, I'm tired. It's been a long week, and I feel a little winded, but we had a workshop yesterday, 3 hours. We did medicine section, anesthesia, and E&M. I ended pretty much on time. Usually I go like 45 minutes over, but I went through those questions really fast. Not as fast as we should be on the exam. I should have been, 15 minutes faster. One thing that y'all need to really practice is wearing a watch on your wrist that isn't like an Apple Watch or something, nothing digital, but a handheld watch, one of those $3 ones you can get from Walmart that has a minute and an hour hand. Be sure and wear one of those when you're practicing exam questions and get in a habit of looking down at it every hour. And if you've done 25 questions that hour, because if you haven't done 25 questions in an hour, you really need to speed up. So it's a real marathon, this exam. You really need to practice. And I know it's hard to slow down and do that many questions at one time with family and friends and obligations and stuff. I even recommend if you got time to do one question, go practice one question, That's 5 minutes. Go do it. But if you do have time to set aside where you're doing, even if you don't do 4 hours in one time practice, do 2 hours and then get in a habit of looking down at your watch a lot. That's okay if you missed the workshop, but you pre-purchased it, then the same link to join in yesterday that you got in your email when you purchased it is the same link to watch the replay for 90 days. No big deal. But if by chance, let me get back over here. I don't know what Word document we're looking at. Let me start that back over. Make sure I'm in the right one. Because our Word document should show up as that. There we go. If by chance I'm going to eventually get my sentence out. You did not get a chance to pre-purchase that workshop and you still want to watch it. I did put it up on my website. You can go to my website at Medical Coding by Jen. It won't be, it'll be now in the shop instead of under workshops. It'll be here under the shop. So just click on the shop tab and it's still the same price as it was for pre-sale. It's this one right here with that medicine logo. You can still purchase it right there. What you get is a PDF with this picture on it, and it's 2 pages of a PDF download, and on one of those pages of the PDF will be the URL link that you just type in up here. You know how you're going to type up if you're going to type in YouTube, and then it'll give you the link. And then that way you have the link to get into the replay all the time. So if by chance you still want to purchase it, that one's there. what else is there? There's another one that's still available to buy for, my voice sounds terrible, for the guidelines, that workshop. If I can get back to the shop. Let's see. So there's a workshop right here that I did. I don't know why you keep going back that way. My internet is so slow when I'm streaming. The one that I did with all modifiers is available still, looks like. And this one for the modifiers, you get a PDF that's a printout with all the CPT modifiers in it that you can keep as a extra bonus. But it's nothing that isn't already in the HitPix book. It's just a copy of the modifier and the full explanation of what it is. It's nothing that I made up fancy. And then there's also one workshop, I think, in here for the guidelines too, somewhere around there. I need to take down the one for January because that one's available for everybody on that one. Anyway, we did a couple of cases too, E&M cases, and it was a good day, a good one. I did have somebody asking me a bunch of questions about why one of the answers was one of the answers, and I didn't have time to stop and teach during that because we were doing 75 questions in the same pace as the exam, and everybody had questions on one of the questions was biofeedback, so I brought that one over that we can go over to and do tonight. And then somebody asked me about radiology. So I worked today during lunch and made up some of my own radiology questions. And then I typed out the 3 guidelines we have with radiology and made some educational material for you guys for that for tonight. And then I think I got some guidelines and some anatomy too that we can do, but that y'all wanted to ask me on the fly and see what I can do to help out. What did Flower say? Let me see. Hey Crystal, I hope I can join so that I can watch her workshops. That's awesome, Crystal. I hope you can too. I'm going to give away some more workshops, some more memberships today. And speaking of memberships, I got a list of 2 pages of people here that have been paid members of the YouTube club for over 6 months. I know a lot of you are signed up, but these 2 pages are people that have been signed up for over 6 months. And I just wanted to say thank you for your support. Y'all are super nice. I think I get like $2.50 out of whatever YouTube uses for the rest, because I think it's $4.99 and then they charge you tax. So I think I get like $2.50 a month for you guys. But that money does help, you know, qualify or for me to say, okay, I'm going to go prep questions for you guys 3 days a week and time away from the family. And then the family doesn't complain so much because they have, you know, pizza money. You know, I can go order, you know, I ordered yesterday during the workshop, I ordered $75 worth of Asian food from the Chinese shop, and the kids just had a ball eating that. So beef on a stick is what I call it. We ordered beef on a stick, and they loved it, and that's just really nice. They enjoy getting away from me too, which is nice, but then I also get to treat them with something sometimes. And then it also helps give free memberships to you guys too. A lot of this money just goes right back into buying more memberships for other people so that they don't have to spend money on it. It also gives them, I get requests for people in need that need copies of my notes or extra tutoring or a study guide that they can't afford, I'll have it just shipped to their house. Or extra exam attempts. I've even purchased those for people that have been with me and have just suffering, having to buy more and more attempts. Once they're on their 6th attempt and they still don't pass, it becomes pretty much a family burden, to purchase more. So I try to help out wherever I can. So that's just super nice. I just wanted to say thank you guys that money helps. I appreciate it. We had beef on a stick last night. That was good. The workshop was recorded and it is available for replay, and it will not be out for the members to watch until it's 90 days old. So, but if you pre-purchased it, you've already got the link and you get to watch it. And you do get, and if you do go to my website at medicalcodingbyjen.com, go to the shop. The workshop is the last thing that I posted up for sale there. Still the same price, $12, if you do want to purchase it. Oh, Flower, you got your cup in the mail. Yay! That's so good. I had to label those things twice, so I was worried. The ink disappeared from the heat on one of my labels, and I think it was the paper that I printed it on. And then, so I used my son's printer and his printer paper, and they printed out so much better on his printer paper. The package that I bought from Amazon did not do well. Anyway, so I'm so happy you got your cup. That's awesome. I've got about 20 more to give out, and I'm just going to randomly send out some gifts to people that purchase stuff off my website. So whatever you used for your billing address, I'm just going to probably ship out some and not tell you. So they might show up. You never know. How do y'all pay for courses and exams? A lot of people do side hustles to pay for things. So I know one thing that I like to do when it comes up for my yearly attempt membership, and every year that comes up due every July for me. And I also have to pay car tags every year. And it's something that you don't think about as a monthly, it's not rent, but every year it comes up. In Arizona, they charge us car tags based off our car value. So if you get a brand new car, I think our newest car is a 2020, but they still base it off that car value, and it can be pretty expensive. Some places like Ohio, everybody just pays $50 every year, and that's not such a hardship as a price value of the car. So what I like to do as a side hustle to help me pay for my yearly membership and stuff, and my kids are on this too because they have extra stuff they're always wanting to buy, is I sell on an app called Mercari, MERCARI. I like it because I don't have to pay PayPal, and they do a direct deposit straight into your checking account. And I think it's great. I mean, you do have to give them your social. You do have to give them a copy of your driver's license. But I've been on them 4 years now and never had any trouble at all. And they just direct deposit into my checking account. I'm trying to find the location of my total sales to brag so you guys can see how much I've made. I never know. See if I can figure out where it's at. They're always up changing the app. Look right there. That is $8,799. And that's just on this one silly app. And you don't have to meet nobody like Facebook Marketplace or have people come to your house. McCary takes 14% for their fees. You have the buyer pay for shipping, so you just post stuff up for sale. My kids, James has been selling on it this week, looking for things to sell out of the house. My listings, they're all inactive. Well, some of them are not inactive, but I mean, if you got anything from anybody on that you didn't want as a Christmas present or whatever, you can just post it up for sale. Because that way, and then you just, if you make, $5 on it, that's $5 that you didn't have, They'll buy used socks, because craft people that are making crafts, use them and make socks that are fuzzy, even with the holes in them. They can make puppets out of them. Old snake skins, if you have a pet snake, save all the dead skin shavings. People buy that stuff. It's crazy. Old toilet paper and paper towel rolls, people buy that. Just whatever it is, if it's a piece of garbage with a hole in it, post it and say it's a piece of garbage with a hole in it. And leave it up there. Don't worry about it. You don't have to advertise. You don't have to buy a store. It's free to list on this, 100% free. And if anybody ever complains about what they got and they weren't happy and they want a refund, I've had that happen twice in almost 5 years I've been on here. McCary just gave me their money and they gave the customer back their money. That's all. I mean, they didn't even take it out of my checking or anything. And then they just, as soon as the sale is final, they don't have 30 or 90 or 60 days to come back after you. It's 3 days after they get it at their house and the sale is done. There's no take backs. They can't come back after you in 90 days if it doesn't work or whatever. So I love McCary, and it takes 2 seconds to post an ad on their site. And I think it's way better than eBay or Amazon ever has been. And this is what I use. I even have my kids have their own stores on it so that they can start selling their old used toys, and they can, make their own money. And I use it every year when my car tags and stuff are due. So, because it's always a big expense that I forget about having, and this is what I use. So, anyway, McCary app. And even if you don't have a printer to print out shipping labels, you can now take your phone into the post office, show them a barcode, and they print out your shipping labels for you, and then you just stick them on the package. And then that's cool because then you don't have to use ink and printer tape and all that stuff. So it's super nice. I love it. So that's what I use. Anyway, bit of side hustle that is not related to coding at all, but I love McCary. It's great. It has saved us. Wrong one. Let me get that. This one. Nope. I just cut off my audio. That wasn't helpful. How about that one? There we go. So that's how I've paid for a lot of stuff for you guys when I buy practice exam questions or a course, and I use it too to purchase that kind of stuff. Just don't be squeamish about you know, once you make like 5 or 6 sales, then they're going to say like, oh, well, we're going to need your social because we're going to end up probably 1099ing you or something. But I never have. I've kept my sales under 2,000 every year that I've had the McCary app, so I've never gotten a 1099 from them. So I've never had to file any taxes on it. So that 8,000 is collectively over almost 4 years now, something like that. I'm trying to catch up with chat, guys, because I was busy on a rant. What does it say? Nervous system book prep is helpful. Nice. Awesome. So, Crystal, if you are a member of AAPC now and you've already paid for your membership and been a member, you can fill out a grant from them and they can buy you a course, books, and exam attempts. They have grants available. Anna asked, I'm new to the group. Where can I find your info on how to color code the books? So let's go back to this screen. Let me see. That did not help. Properties. Not that one. This one. There we go. Why is that not showing? I need to turn it on. Okay. So if you come to my website, you come to Resources tab, go to CPT Book Prep page. I have it all free here for you guys. Just click on the picture. It'll tell you what to do. And then do that throughout the entire book. Move to the next picture. Do this through the entire book. It's all right here for you, all for free. I don't collect your information. I'm not going to spam you a bunch of emails. You do need to sign in to my website, verify your email address. And you never know, if you do need me and you need me to send you something, please do register with a valid email address that you can use. Don't use Apple, iCloud, whatever, because you won't get anything from me that way, including anything that you purchase or buy. So use a real email address that you remember your log on and password to if you ever want anything from me, because my site is all automated. I'm just one lady on the internet. I can't. And I've got 25,000 followers on TikTok, and how many do I have on YouTube now? I don't remember. But yeah, I can't answer everybody's questions individually, but when I do send out stuff, you really want to get it, you know? So be sure you've got a real email address. But that's all free here under the CPT Book Prep page. There's even book prep videos and a blog that's all free. Down here at the bottom, it shows you how to do book prep on your anatomy pictures. And it also shows you how to book prep your ICD-10 book. And then I have these one-sheet guidelines, stuff that you should know, like how do I code twin deliveries, and what's the difference between, or what am I talking about when I'm always saying mama and child codes. I've got a one-sheeter right there. It's all free, so be sure and go hang out at my website. Click on all the tabs, see what's in there, because there's tons of free info here. On the home page, I have an exam on the front page that you could do all by yourself, even without signing up for the website. If you scroll down here to the bottom, I have an exam. You can poke it out and make it full size. I think I did that last night. I did something like this and it made it one size. I don't know what it's doing now, but it made it full size. It was cool. But there is a quiz right here you can do for free. See if you can get that correct. There That's just on the home page. Social media tab is handy dandy. Be sure and stop by it if you want to join our free Discord group, which has 2 years worth of all kinds of information, plus 5,000 people in there. It's all free. If you have or in a course and you need help with a practice exam question, you can post it in the Discord group and somebody will help you answer the question and help you out with the rationale with it and why the answer is what it is. If you don't know what camera to use, what books to buy, anything, it's all in our Discord group, which is right there. YouTube, Facebook group is right there. Under additional resources, I have additional educators. So there's other people that people utilize all the time besides me. My job is as a medical auditor and data analyst. I'm not a educator, technically. I mean, I do educate my physicians and my staff in our HEDIS measures, but my job is not teaching medical coders to be medical coders, but there are a lot of those people around. Ranty Randy has offered to do tutoring with people. All you got to do is reach out to him. He's super nice. And AAPC Knowledge Center. I can't say enough about AAPC Knowledge Center. If you don't know something and you want to know something, you don't even have to be a member and you don't even have to be logged on. You can just go here to the Knowledge Center and type it in right here. And let's see, I don't know. What would we want to know about? What's one of those hard ones? I wonder, I'm trying to remember one of the hard ones in the nervous system. Somebody was just asking me about the nervous system, right? We've got some codes in here that are, trying to think of a good one because sometimes they have some really good info in there. What's the ones with the in the back? Knowing whether to code 1 code or times or what are those codes? Some of them, the mother code, you add the 50 or something modifier with it, and then the other ones you don't. The children codes, you do times instead, which gets really crazy. Where are those codes? Of course, I want something that I don't know where it's at. Sorry. What if we talk about laminectomies? Yeah, that's it. Laminotomy. We don't know how to code a laminectomy. See what AAPC has in their Knowledge Center on it. If I can get my internet to work. I don't know if it's going to work. Come on. You're going to work. I'm going to make you work. So when you get it to come up, come on. Wonder what's going on. Is it the internet? I know you can understand. They have right here in the Knowledge Center, because I've seen it before. It's a great blog, but their site might be down right now. I think they've been having issues. Dang it. As I go boasting about them, they do have some in that Knowledge Center, and they'll have coding examples in that Knowledge Center that'll tell you what to code with what code. It is cool. I know y'all can't see it right now, but it is cool. I love their Knowledge Center when and if it does decide to work. But that's a really cool one, is their Knowledge Center. Um, when I do another workshop, we're going to do another one. It'll be right here, but it probably won't be till August. Let's see. Probably around August 13th, I'll do another workshop, and it'll probably be, I was thinking about doing questions from all 17 sections of the book. I've tried to do that once before. We got all the way through to Lab and Path. We missed out on Medicine and Appendix L, but maybe we could do another one. I could try to do one. It's a lot of subjects. I don't know. But y'all can make a vote on what y'all want the next workshop to be. That's there. Shared gallery is super handy. Y'all can all go there and you can add your own pictures here. It's available for anybody to post pictures, but if you want to know what my favorite pictures are, they're here. Also, things about what camera to use, what pens do I use, what do I use to carry my books around with. I've told you before, y'all need to go add some information to the CPT book as far as vaccines goes, how many components are in it. That's these pink and blue pictures. You need to click on those. When you do click on it, on the first column, you'll see a CPT code. And then on the last column, you'll see how many components are in that CPT code. Just go to each CPT code and then go write that number beside the CPT code. This will help you if you by chance get a code on a medical coding exam that asks you to code it for counseling. Because if you're going to code it for counseling, you have to actually time something by how many components you have on all the combined vaccines that you gave. So that's something that's not available in a book, and you have to prep your book for that ahead of time. If you wanted an ADA, where do I send the email? Email address is on that picture. What could I send to get an extra hour for the exam where I get 5 hours instead of 4? Here's an example from a member who gave me permission to share her info there. What's on the exam? How many questions? How do I book prep? Just tons of pictures. So, and you guys can add pictures here too by clicking that add media, and you can add whatever you want here for everybody else. So, website is super handy dandy and helpful. Get back to chat. See if there's any other questions. Laminectomies. They're terrible. Thanks, Blondie. She said the workshop was great. Reminds me that I need to get much quicker. Yeah, it is. And it's hard when I don't have time to teach a question. I just have to go from question to question and show you exactly how I would attack that question if I was doing it as an exam question. Can't tell you how much CPT book prep is helpful. And if I missed your question, please ask it again. This is going to be my 6th time taking the test. I hope I pass, Crystal. 18th, I'm struggling with the medicine section. That's awesome. I did a ton of medicine questions yesterday, so much so that people were asking for it to end. It's like, oh no, we've done too many. Digestive system, the whole video. You watched all 3 of them. Awesome. Hey, MK, good to see you. I miss you. Pizza. Nicole is going to be taking hers on the 6th. Who else was taking theirs? Crystal said she was taking hers on the 18th. 18th. Amy's still pending hers. Let me go on and get y'all the first question up for today while I'm reading chat, and y'all can work on this one real quick. Y'all tell me what you think the answer is while I'm reading chat. Christney says, I have a random question about page 462, understanding the differences between, okay, 462. Between codes 62220 and 62223. All right. Perfect. Oh, y'all can't do the next question because y'all can't see the screen, can you? Sorry, y'all gotta holler at me. There's the first question, but also I'm trying to help answer a question about what's the difference between codes 62220 versus 62223. 62220, your one word difference is vent dash ATR. Your one word difference between that and the 2223 is this one is event dash Perry. So just like in the book, this is what I wrote underneath that CPT code, and that's what I wrote underneath that CPT code. So your shunt is put arterially in 2220. In 2223, it is put in the peritoneal. I hope that helps. Let me know if that doesn't answer your question. Yay, Yasmin. If you want to join the workshop, you can still purchase it. It's in the shop now. My daughter got her cup also. Oh, Holly, yay. That's awesome. Yay. Thank her for helping me out. And it took me forever to get it out there. I believe we went all the way to New York. That's where I was born, in Rome, New York. Long time ago. My dad was in Vietnam, and that's where Mom was able to get housing at the time, I think, because that's where he was stationed. Crystal, it sounds like if you've taken the exam 6 times, you need to fill out that grant and get you a grant for more attempts, new books for 2024 if you need it, and pay for your membership for another year. But we got it this time. We are going to pass the 6th time. Yep, MK, I sent you the link to the workshop, MK. You and Go-Kart always get the links. Y'all have spent way too much money on me. Y'all just get the links. You know that. Which section is the most hard ones? I want to know. Ooh, that just depends. Depends. Integumentary can be super tricky. The repairs from the excisions to knowing which excisions go in integumentary, which ones go in musculoskeletal, those are super tricky. It's all a lot. It really is. I still find that allergy injections trouble me. I don't get them right all the time. And remembering everything that could or needed to be added to anesthesia can also be an issue. I got one wrong during the workshop yesterday in anesthesia because I forgot about the emergency room. So if there's an emergency surgery, you got to add another qualifying circumstance code to it. Got the code right for the code, the procedure, but there's just so much that has to be added. Lots of different modifiers and qualifying codes that go with it. But there's only 4 questions on anesthesia, where all the other sections are 6 questions. So it's not really worth time spending a lot more extra time to learn anesthesia. Just get the basics down and move on, because you got 6 questions in other sections. Spend more time in integumentary, musculoskeletal, cardiology, male and female, and nervous. Those core ones right there are more important to learn with the ear and the eye than anything, because that has the most questions. And if you do really well in those, then if you don't get all the guidelines right, you don't get all the E&M right, you don't get all the anesthesia or HIPICS right or ICD-10, it's not as bad if you've got all of that done as best you can. So I'm saying going from codes 00, the 10000 all the way through 69930. So if you go from 10021 to 69930 in the CPT book, and you know all that really well, what's your headers, what's your procedures, you can code these areas, 90 to 95% of the time correctly, then you could pass the exam without some of the majorness that is medicine, that is lab and path, that is E&M and ICD-10 and HIPICS. But you got to be really good in those areas. But you can do it. I tackled it that way. That's the way I did the exam, except for I got rid of MAWS exams. I didn't want to learn MAWS, and I didn't want to learn E&M. And then I took those codes, and that's what I studied and worked on those really hard. And that way I could not have to learn everything. What does everybody think the answer is to this question? Are there study guides to better than the practice test? AAPC study guide, if you're taking an AAPC study certification, is the best. If you are doing, wrong one. If you are doing a HEMA, I don't know if I can do it on this page. Yes, I can do it on this one. If you're doing a HEMA, my favorite book from a HEMA is a workbook that they have. I wish it had more A, B, C, D questions, but of what they do have in it, it is cool. I like that book. I don't like Bucks, but this one right here, I love this book for AHIMA. This one's nice. It's not so guide as a practice workbook, but it does the entire coding 17 sections that's going to be on your exam in baby mode, intermediate mode. It redoes all the sections again in intermediate, and then it does it in super tough mode all over again. So you got 3 different modes of learning all the sections. So I just think that's great. Sorry about the internet being so slow. It's hard because I'm streaming at the same time I'm trying to gather internet, being rural Arizona here. But none of the kids are on the internet right now, so I think it's just sunspots. But this book called Clinical Coding Workout Practice Exercise, right here, it's got 3 different levels. This is beginner coding exercises, and it goes through every single chapter, whatever, and then you can go over here and do it all over again in intermediate mode, and then you can do it all over again in advanced. And goodness, yep, it's pretty cool. I like it because of the 3 different modes. Not every question is ABC, only, and you only get answers to every odd question or every even, I don't know which, but they don't even publish all the answers to the entire workbook. But still, what answers you do get and you do find in ABCD1, it is cool. They do have cool questions. I just hate all the fill in the blank ones, and then you never know if you're going to get an answer to it or not, because it's got to be a certain set. And the answers you download separately from their website, from AHIMA. You log on to their website and download their answers. They don't come with the book, but the book is still worth purchasing. I like the book. It's cool. But it's $100. But it's not a study guide. But if you're going to get a study guide and you're doing AAPC, their study guides are the best. They're better than their courses. Their study guides have everything their course has in it without those droning on videos. I mean, they still do incorporate the lovely videos, but you can skip those. And the best thing is they have the practice questions and stuff in them. Plus they go over everything that they're going to quiz you on. It's all here. They're going to ask you about, if you're doing COC, they're going to ask you about a Medigap, right? Or an ABN, they're going to ask you about it. And then they have practice questions. So their study guides are the best. I wouldn't buy anybody else's stuff at all. Let me get that off of there. See what chat is going on. April says she failed her first time. This will be her second attempt. I'm hoping to pass. Well, we need to get with who was that today that passed with a 90 freaking 7? V? V needs to be teaching this stuff. She passed with a 96. Oh my gosh. We need to get V on here to co-teach with me, man. I bet she could do some good teaching. We need to do a podcast with her. See how our exam attempt was. Let's see. So I answered that. Crystal's been struggling, yep. And Time is winding down on Craig's exam. She's going to take hers on July 29th. Trying to keep up with everybody. Yes, best of luck. The name of the app was Mercari, M-E-R-C-A-R-I, Mercari. I've been on them literally 4 years. Promise there's no issues with them stealing or anything. No, nope. No issues, and I hate PayPal. PayPal has come back after deposits of customers and then taken money back out afterwards, which can hurt you. Mercari's never done anything like that, ever. Ever, ever, ever. They've always just said, some people are just not happy. Here, you get your money and you get your money. And there's no fees in posting anything up for sale on Mercari. Places, they charge you to freaking post anything even up. Mercari doesn't make any money unless you make a sale. So they want you to make sales. So they're always out there advertising and stuff for you. You have lots of books you want to sell. Go sell them on Mercari. It's awesome. Poshmark is cool too. Plus, on my Discord group, I have a room that's completely free. You guys can sell books through your agreements. I don't have a way for anybody to send money on the platform. Y'all can figure that out yourselves through, cash apps of some sort. But you can post your pictures, post how much it'll cost for shipping. Backup toilet paper. I'm serious. Old toilet paper rolls. Yes, the empties of the toilet paper rolls. I'm telling you, they will buy them. Yep. And paper towel, empty paper towel rolls. Teachers and school people, crafters, people that make stuff, use that. I've seen people take toilet paper rolls and paper towel rolls and turn them into a Halloween decoration that is lighted and I don't know what all. Those people are crazy cool. People will literally buy anything. Used old socks, does not matter. Does not matter. People love buying broken toys because then they combine them and make art out of them and then sell it. I'm telling you, there's stuff out there. People will buy anything. It doesn't matter. Whatever you got. You got that old lotion bottle that you used twice and you didn't use it anymore, but you did use it. Used makeup sells on there too. Just tell them it's used. How much of it is used? Half of it? All of it? Some people just want the empty bottle. I don't know. They just want it. They can make stuff out of it. You don't have a pet snake? We have a pet snake. That garter snake has been around 15 years in my house. Good gracious. Dirty underwear sells quick. Oh no. They make earrings out of the snake skins. It's authentic snake skin exoskeleton. They can put that on bird feathers or tacky paper. The pattern is what they like, and it's an authentic, real pattern. It's not something that somebody made. It's a real animal's skin cells. I don't know. I've seen them make earrings out of them. So it looks really cool when they do that. Yes, you can sell used clothes. If you're going to do like your kids' school's clothes and stuff, they really like bundles. So if you have a pair of shorts and a top that go together, you can put the underwear and the socks, all 4 pieces together, and sell it all at once in a poly mailer. It's awesome. You'd be surprised. People like buying rocks. You got some interesting rocks around your house. People paint rocks. They love to buy rocks. I don't know. It's hard to ship because it's heavy, but whatever. School supplies, things that your kids didn't use, old backpacks that are torn, frayed, whatever. Mark it up. Take pictures of the tears and rips and put it up there. You detest snakes. I do too. I don't like them either. I won't touch peyote, but we've had peyote for 15 years. We have. Not that anybody's ever gotten bitten by her, but creepy, man. They're creepy. Yeah, I think you're one of the ones that purchased early too, V. All right, do we have an answer to this question, by the way? Let's get back to at least trying to answer some questions tonight. This is the one, is this the biofeedback one that people were having issues with yesterday during my workshop, I mean? So if we go to both those CPT codes, we can look up our differences. Does anybody know what the difference is between 90912 and 90875? If you're in the 2022 book, those codes are separated on different pages, but this year in our 2023 book, they're both on the same page, which is super helpful. Let's see, let me turn on my video. Yeah. So both the codes are right here. 90875 and 90912. What's our differences? Don't want y'all cheating and seeing what my notes say. But, I think I turned on the wrong thing. Here we go. What, on page 736, what is our differences between these two? Hey, Twinkle, how's it going? Old chargers, old remote controls, you don't even know what they go to anymore. You'd be surprised. People buy all kinds of things. Anything you haven't touched in your house in the last 6 months, go post it up for sale. I'm not playing. Advertisements. They're both biofeedback training. Both of them include biofeedback training. You can use the 2023 books for AAPC certifications until December 31st of 2024. Did I say that right? Sometimes my brain does not do numbers right. So 12/31/24. You can use the 2023 book. Now, we might have to update it and do some changes as far as manually updating it. I won't know till next month or so. But for AAPC only, you can use the book for this. Long PC. I'm trying to spell. If you do a HEMA, you can use the 2023 book. I believe May 31st or June 30th, one of the two, of 24. That's for AHEMA. Now, their exam for AAPC will change as of January 1st, 2024 to the new codes. But I don't think we're going to have very many to worry about, except for some new telemedicine E&M codes. Other than that, I don't think there's going to be anything marginally important. Both these codes have biofeedback in it. Our 75 code includes therapy. '75 includes therapy. The 12 is just training only. Training only. The 75 is therapy and training. So, when we look at this exam question, do we see anything about therapy? All we see is training. No therapy, which it's psychotherapy, so it's not like physical therapy, it's psychotherapy. So it includes the psychotherapy when you are doing the 75 code. That includes psychotherapy. So for this question, we don't see psychotherapy listed at all. You know you're going to be a C or a D, or C, wait a minute, a C or an A, sorry. So you just need to know, are you an R code or are you an F code? Where is fecal incontinence? Is that a symptom or is that an F code? So what I did here was, I have the answer here, of course. This right here that I got right here is from work. I went into our coder program, copied what my work coder program said was going on in the code. This information right here is what we're expected as a coder in our office to see going on in the patient's chart for this particular code. This is the 12. This is the one with no psychotherapy. It, of course, has the pelvic muscle education, the EMG in it. It's all the stuff that's going on. It can use lights, sounds, meters, all kinds of stuff to control the body. It also gives us some coding tips for that if we're going to use additional minutes, we can use it with this one. It tells me some payer info that bladder training or something or another. They can only have 6 treatments over 4-week period time. That's just most payers. And then here it's going to tell me which modifiers I can't or normally don't use with this particular CPT code. 51 won't go, 50 won't go, neither will 80, 62, 66, 81, 82, and PS will not work. And then this is for the other code. I copied what it said the code was, what was going on inside, what you would see in a patient's chart about the therapy, that kind of stuff there, and how it's interactive between the provider and the patient. 30 minutes. And then if they're going to do 45 minutes or more, we can use another code. And then again, the same modifiers don't go with that particular code too. So I was just, not that you need to know this kind of stuff for the exam, but I just thought some of it could be helpful. I like to know what we would see in a patient's chart if we were going to bill it. So that's why I think that paragraph is the most important. But the easiest thing to remember is that 8.5 includes psychotherapy with the biofeedback training, and that 909.12 is just the training only. Super easy. All right. Somebody asked during the workshop yesterday for radiology, and boy, do I have some radiology stuff for you guys today. So I hope you got your thinking caps on, because I wrote some of these questions, and y'all know how I get when I write questions. Yay, I'm so glad you got it right. Yay, good job, Crystal. You're retaking, Jody is taking her exam. She's so close. Her 5th time on this Saturday. So I want you to make sure you know what a Warthin's tumor is. What else did I post today? What else did I post? She's taking it in person. See, if y'all were in my Discord group today, I posted some helpful tips. Is that this one? No. It's, which one? Video. This one. In the Discord group, I posted this paragraph. It says don't share. Warthin's tumor, ARDS. I'll type it out here. ARDS. What else did I post? TYMP versus MYRING. Go to AAPC's Knowledge Center if it's working. God, it needs to really work. NCCI. TC versus 26. TRICH. Yep, know those. Google is your friend. Google the differences. Google the explanations. Our Discord group has all these rooms, practice exam rooms, even cases have their own practice exam room. Practicode, job resources, sell your books. CCS has their own room. COC has their own room. The E&M has their own room. CPT book has its own room. So does ICD-10. All super helpful. And our main chat room is that one. And I post helpful tips in there too. So y'all are always the first ones to know about anything in that. So be sure and join it. It's free. There you go, Sandy. We are claiming it. Y'all are going to pass. All right. Radiology has 3 guidelines in it. Your guidelines for radiology are, number 1 is supervision and interpretation. Y'all got to listen to the wording on this guideline. So the guideline states that radiology, supervision, and interpretation describes the radiological portion of the procedure. You may see this referred to as RS and I or S and I. Those are just AKA terms for it. So everybody gets confused on supervision and interpretation. But all that is, in fancy terms, is the radiology part of a procedure code. So it's already included in the procedure code, AKA. Okay? Supervision and interpretation, all it is the radiological portion of the procedure. So don't read any more into that than that already is. That's what it is. If a single physician, such as a radiologist, performs a procedure, as well as the imaging, supervision, interpretation, you may report both separately. For example, if a radiologist performs a percutaneous drainage of the peritoneal abscess with guidance, you report it as the following. RS and I is that code 75989, radiological guidance, ultrasound, for percutaneous drainage of an abscess with placement of a catheter with a supervision interpretation. It's all there. It's all included. Nothing you need to bill separately. It's there. I know there's a million questions. These are always very, very confusing. Let's keep going. Another guideline, your second guideline with radiology, is contrast. Contrast is defined as this. Several radiology code descriptors include the term with contrast. The CPT guideline clarifies that only contrast material is administered intravenously, IV, intra-artically, like they're your arteries, or intra-arthetically. Still, all intra. That's it. That means if the contrast was given orally, rectally, or both, that's not intra. You choose the code that says without contrast. Contrast has to be IV and monitored to be able to bill it. If you drink it, it's not going to be counted. Our last guideline is about a written report. Third guideline for radiology, that's all there is 3 guidelines. You should consider a written report as an integral part of the radiological procedure. It's part of it. It's included. Or interpretation. The guideline states the interpretation must sign the report. They got to sign it. Yep, that's my signature too, by the way. That's it. So let's try one out. Question that I wrote. Sorry about my logo. I could not get it to stop being there. I can't even pick it up now. I don't know what happened. I don't know why it's there. I couldn't get it to fade out. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, let's go look up our codes. 702, 50, and 60. Where are we at? 50 and 60. 102, 50 and 60. Our differences: less than 4, more than 4. Easy peasy. We have a patient who comes into the radiology facility for 2-view skull x-ray. It's taken at noon for a diagnostic examination. After interpretation in the films and sending the report to the PCP, the patient returns to the radiology facility for a single-view skull x-ray with interpretation and sending of an additional report to the PCP. How do we bill for the facility code for today's encounters? What do you guys think? Scored low in hip picks. There's only 3 questions on the exam. Don't worry so much about it. I'll show you a quick tip on why you're getting things wrong there. When you're in hip picks, don't forget that a lot of times your answer is not going to be, you find one real quick, directly across and next to the code. So your code's here, your answer is not here. A lot of times your answer is down here in the baby blue. That's where your answer is at with the drug name. So don't look at the code and what's written right across from it. You guys look down here where the blueprint is. That's where the answer is. That's how you get the right answers on hip picks. And know the difference between ALS and BLS in ambulance services. I have the whole hip picks book of notes available for you too in my store if you want those, but you have to know the difference between ALS and BLS on ambulance services. And that's just a quick Google search. So how many views did we do? We did 2 views in the morning, another view in the afternoon, that all are still on the same body part. So it's 4 or less. This one does over 4. If it had come back and done 2 more views or 3 more views, we went over the total number for the day of being 4, then we could have gone up to 60, but we definitely won't be billing twice. And just so you know about adding views and multiple same-day services, a little part that I found on the internet in Radiology Society Today or some sort of magazine, it says to choose the proper code, you should add all the views performed of the same site for the same diagnostic reason. The patient came back for a skull x-ray later on in the day for a different medical issue than the medical issue from this morning, then we would definitely code it separately. But as long as it's for the same diagnostic reason, then we're good to go. We just add them all up. You report the most comprehensive code, it says. This holds true even if the patient leaves and returns to radiology on the same exam day. So they have an example of a radiologist interprets 2 skull views at 10 a.m., comes back at 11, does another one. What would you code? 50250. for the 4 views or less. The rule is to report CPT code that describes the, like I said, if it is about the patient's condition, is for a different condition than what it was this morning, then we're going to report it separately. All right, what about this one? We've got 74019, 74022. Ooh, what's going on in these codes? 74019. Down here, we've got abdomens, 22. And 45. Patient has a single view chest and a single view abdomen. What would we code for this scenario? Yep, those ambulance codes. Good job, Ibis. Who won the membership? I know I gave one away. Who did that? Twinkle did. I thought I gave one away too. Maybe all I have is members in here. Nobody knew? Ooh, it's trash night. My kids, gotta get them to get trash taken out. There you go. Yep. So tip 2 is about 2 x-ray codes may be better than just one, although you should not report multiple CPT codes. If a single CPT code does exist to describe a service, be careful that you don't choose a single code that could describe more views than the provider's documentation. So we want to make sure that we are coding exactly what was ordered and what's in the patient's chart. So for this particular one, yep, we're going to code, I think, yeah, we're going to code for the 71045 for the chest x-ray, and then the 74018 for that one abdominal view. Super helpful. What about this one? We've got 720 52 50 40 20 and another 50. We have a patient who comes into the radiology facility for 5 views of the cervical spine. They get their interpretation completed. Later that day, the patient returns in the afternoon for 3 additional views of the cervical spine, 8 views in total. What would the facility report? Yay, Crystal. Awesome, awesome. You'll now have access to all the old workshops, which are super helpful because they have like 75 questions in each. Just pause the screen when you see a question come up. Try to do the question all by yourself in your books. Time yourself. Only give yourself 2 minutes to do it yourself. And then hit play on the video and see what you got. If you got it wrong, then make notes in your book on what the correct answer is. And then also practice and see why the wrong answers are wrong. Super helpful. Plus, you've got access to all my old book videos from 2022 and 2023. Hopefully those will help with you learning how to make notes in your book. Good night, Jen. Everybody say A on this one. Perfect. The 52 is going to have all the views in it that you're going to need for that one. Super helpful. We're not going to bill 5 in one view and 3 in the other. Super easy right there. Here are some different names for radiological procedures. If by chance you're doing something, a lot of people think the anterior posterior thing, AP, means 2 views, but that's only 1 view. So these are different types of views. If you're doing an atypical chest view, you'll know if you see that wording, that's just another view. A Bucky film, another way of doing another side of a view. Decubitus, all these are super handy. I used to shoot x-rays back in the early 90s when you didn't need a degree in it. We could just, if we had the machine, anybody could shoot them. And I used to shoot x-rays. Oh yeah. And these were common terms that could be used that might be in a patient's record, and you don't know how many views it is. So I thought this would be handy for anybody. But typical, what you're going to see is AP and lateral views on the exam. Don't forget in your CPT book in the front, I wish they would put these back there with radiology. I think it's a much better place for it. But on page XXIV, you've got all your views here to explain what things are. Be sure you know that anterior aspect means your chest, posterior aspect means your back. You could also say posterior trunk means your back, and anterior trunk means chest area. Those are common areas that vocabulary that they'll use on the exam, and if you don't know the definition of what it is, then it could hurt you. So be sure to know where that page is in your book. And you could add all these little different definitions right here to that page and make yourself a really good radiology view page. All right, what is our guidelines for PC and TC? So these are from that radiology magazine thing that I found today. The professional component of a diagnostic radiology service involves the radiological supervision and interpretation. So if you remember earlier, it defined a radiological procedure as having the supervision and interpretation including in it, right? They're just reiterating that the professional component of a radiology service is the supervision and interpretation. TC is the technical component reserved for this facility. So PC is your modifier 26, right? And that's for a person. It's that MD who has the ability to look at that film and make a decision. TC modifier is a building. It's a fancy building that has some sort of equipment that is unusual for them to have, right? Technical component is reserved for a facility that's owning the imaging equipment and don't partake in any of the R, S, and I. None of that interpretation. In most circumstances involving hospital setting, the hospital will bill for a technical component and the radiologist contracted with the hospital will bill for their professional component. So radiologist will bill for a CPT code and add the 26 modifier. If they didn't shoot it, they're off site and they're being sent those films electronically and asked to make an opinion on the film. The building will bill the same procedure with a TC modifier from a facility side because they use their resources on their own imaging equipment to bill for that or perform that task. For a given image service, both the facility and the provider will bill the TC and 26, what I just said, for individual claims with their own NPI provider number. The payout still may not or may happen, depend on payers, whoever, but that all gets washed out later on. So hopefully that makes sense. TC is for a building, and PC, or modifier 26, is for a human. And that way you can keep it straight. Another question that often comes up on the exam and has been there as far as recent as this week is different parts of Medicare. So what part of Medicare covers inpatient hospital care or skilled nursing facilities? I think their question leaves off maybe something about the hospital care, and you only get part of the nursing skilled. So do you know where that would come from? Or home health agencies? Just curious. Is that part A, part B, part C, part D? You went to X-ray school in Florida, Heather? That's awesome. Oh yeah, I used to shoot X-rays all the time. I did. I was at Memphis Hospital. It was a tenant hospital in Memphis, Tennessee, 1994. Yep. And Baptist Hospital, downtown Memphis, tenant hospital. I shot films right there in the professional building. It's that fourth floor. I think it was fourth floor. It's the first films I ever shot. I also, in 95, shot films at a private practice. And what we utilized back then was a grayish area where the PCP would technically be responsible for the films being shot. We could line the patients up and put the films underneath them. We had films that we dipped in chemicals and produced them. They weren't nothing digital back then too. But we would actually say that the physician hit the button, but we were hitting the button. Yeah, I used to shoot the films right there in Memphis, downtown Memphis. Absolutely. Tenant Hospital. I absolutely did, Blondie. Mm-hmm. It started getting a bit stricter in 1995. And then we all got those little tags that had to record the amount of exposure. Those started coming out for our private offices at that time. But the main hospital, absolutely, I shot my own films. Downtown Memphis. That may be why the hospital eventually did close. I got a really good severance package there. It was awesome. And don't forget that I'm clinical. I already had a nursing degree and all that stuff along with, I just wasn't somebody off the street shooting x-rays. So I was clinical. So that may be where the misconception comes from, because we all had license, registration. Look at Twinkle. I used to shoot x-rays back in the early 90s. A few. Drawed labs, shot x-rays, cervical spines, knees, hips, chest x-rays mostly, all kinds of stuff. In the early 90s. Yep. Old machines. We used to have to be in a dark room, and we had to completely all in dark room with a small little red light be able to take the films out and replace the film jackets and put new film in them in the dark room. Done all that. Yeah. Done it all. Years ago, you used to be able to do a lot more in medicine once you were licensed or registered. So nurses did everything. We did all kinds of stuff. I've done copos and leaps. I've done procedures, circumcisions. I've had physicians leave in the middle of procedures, and I have to finish them up, when they were delivering babies and stuff. So much fun. All right, part A, B, C, and D. I miss doing all that all at once. They don't allow us to do that kind of stuff anymore, but back in the 90s, it was fun. Now everybody has their own little areas. It'd be nice, especially down in ER, if you had your nurse could just shoot the film. Why wait for radiology to come down? If we've got the machine there, it'd be nice. We have residents that do some of it now, but it was a different time back then. Medicare generally defines a service or procedure as medically necessary for which of the following factors apply. Was a procedure purely optional to the patient, or does a physician have multiple treatment plan options that are required by insurance companies? What about the service of a procedure is not performed for convenience, or a patient is not yet diagnosed with a condition that requires treatment? I like those. So Medicare defines a procedure as medically necessary as long as the procedure is not performed for convenience. See, back in the 90s, we really loved our conveniences, and more so the doctor and the nursing staff were your treatment plan. We didn't have a whole lot of different types of staff with different specialties. In the very beginning of the 90s, we tag teamed. We did most everything. It was awesome. And same thing now. We have to make sure that services are performed independently and not of convenience. We can't send a patient to the ER and have them go there just as a convenience to the physician. It just won't be covered. So that's all that one's been saying. Which of the following is defined as a button portion of the trachea that spits into the airway to the right and left lung? What would we call that? What's our spitter? Splitter. Not spitter. Splitter. Good night, Diana. See you later. Yeah, I've been clinical for 30 years, 2024. They even used to let medical assistants shoot x-rays back in the 90s. We had MAs that used to shoot x-rays. Very short time, but then they got stricter on the rules and decided everybody needs to be a radiologist tech before they start shooting nuclear energy at people, you know? Don't blame them. We were able to shoot some x-ray films. That was fun. But I remember a time when medical assistants used to be able to do it. Is it getting late? Almost. We got 15 more minutes. California's always been way better at a lot of things. I moved to Cali, started working there 1 month before 9/11 happened. So 21. So I loved working in California. That's how I got into medical auditing, because they were far ahead and really worried about and they even bill totally different than any other state in the United States. They're far ahead than anybody else, where the medical groups cover all the health care for your patients instead of the health insurance plans. Instead of getting prior auths and stuff like that from the health plans, the medical groups and stuff. So it's pretty cool. I like the way California does all their auditing and medical care better than other areas. What about thin layer that covers the front of the eye? Anybody know? Yep, our group, we take care of 70,000 lives. We get a check from a health plan per member to take care of them. It might be $2 a month, but we have to pay for all their lung transplants. All their lab work is even capitated. We don't even bill out or code out for lab work. We just send our lab company a check monthly to take care of all of our patients' blood draws, and we don't bill that out. So it's very unique compared to the rest of the United States. And we make it work. But there's lots of audits involved, which is great because that's what I love doing. I love auditing and tracking all the info because we don't have to send out claims that get paid for every little thing. It's all capitated. It's good to track the data and make sure it's still getting captured. And if you work in California, you've got a lot better benefits as far as unemployment or employment benefits compared to other states. They can't just fire you for no reason or at will, even though they try to think about it, but the state won't let them do that. Conjunctiva. Of the following, which is defined as a removal of plaque from an artery? More radiology stuff. Be sure to check out your endings, right? Remember your prefixes, suffixes, right? And we're looking for a removal. Which one of the endings is for removal? That should help you out, Erin. What do you think? Which ending is for a removal? Yep. That's where these prefixes and suffixes come in handy. Because you know the other ones, graphy is an x-ray, therapy at the end. What are they asking us to do? Removal. Don't let them trick you. Anesthesia. Ooh. What's our differences? 01, 012, 10. We're up here. We got pelvis except for hip. All right. We're looking for anesthesia for this procedure. What you think? Yes, if you won a membership to the YouTube channel, it's good probably till, what, August 17th or something, if you want it today. No, okay. Yeah, sometimes the delay is crazy on this thing sometimes. Plus, if you're in there playing around in chat, sometimes it gets rewound or stopped, paused because of the freaking advertising. Sorry. Hope it all helps. Thank y'all for the thumbs up. I hope this has been helpful with the radiology and the differences between those biofeedback. Yay, Rachel. Awesome. All right. YouTube picks the winner. I don't get a choice in that. I just toss them the money. So yay, that's awesome. All right, what did y'all say? Y'all think the answer is C? Iliac crest biopsy? Huh? What? Bony pelvis. Amputation. Yep, C. Perfect. The physician says an area of the patient body was prominent. What does he or she mean by that? Does that mean it was conspicuous, attractive, diseased, or drooping? My cats are starting to circle. I think they're wanting dinner. Aw, thanks, Dev. You're taking your exam on July 29th. You're going to have withdrawals. When you pass on that day, you're going to be like, now what do I do with my time? It is conspicuous. Good job. A. Perfect. Terms. Let's add those to the dictionary. Add to the dictionary. Here we go. No, don't want them to eat me. Not yet. Not yet. The leader in California of Kaiser Permanente used to be in the 80s. And Kaiser, who started the big hospital system in California, helped pave the way California does their healthcare system compared to the rest of the United States. There's a lot of tapes out there that you can listen to with President Reagan and Mr. Kaiser Permanente used to own of their conversations in healthcare and the way they foresaw the future. It's interesting. Little tidbit about Cali. This one, we got some A's or D's. We're defining an existing covering of the larynx. So would it be something with removal at the end? Yeah. This word is when you take an artery, you cut it into two pieces. And you know how an artery is a circle, right? You cut out a diseased part of it, and then you reconnect the two pieces by stitching the outer layer of that artery back together with its other end after you took out the diseased part. That's anastasis thingamajiggy thingy thing right there. I just posted a video of that in our Discord group in anatomy. It is the, what are we talking about? The existing, excising. Why am I saying it's existing? I can't even read. I'm so exhausted. It is excising, not existing. Oh, my Lord. Y'all just don't pay attention to me today. Modifiers. The following modifiers are specific to pathology and lab. Which of these modifiers describes testing using special single-use transportable equipment or kits. You can get a job doing this as a contract worker if you ever wanted to do lab and path. You can just be a courier for some of these kits. The pay can be like $85 an hour, but you have to pay your own taxes because they just pay you kind of like Uber. Okay, go here, go pick up this lab specimen and take it to this hospital. But that you have to pay and park wherever you're at and then pick up the item into the depths of the belly of whatever facility and drop it off. Some could be as quick as door to door, and some could be you're walking 10 miles into, who knows where. But if you had a bunch that were 85 and door to door, that would be nice. Even if you did 4 of those a day, that'd be good pay. But some hospitals charge people to park in their parking lots. It could get expensive. I don't know. But I know a lot of people that do this, even work in clinical nursing or whatever in their normal shifts, but then they'll pick up some of the courier stuff on their way home or on their way into work. That way they can do a $85 pickup on the way into work or something. Pays for their Starbucks and hospital food that day, whatever. But I know a lot of people that do that stuff. And you don't have to be clinical. You just got to have a car insurance, and no DUIs, That's all. They don't care if you're clinical or not. But I know a lot of people that do that. Yeah, $30 to park at US. Oh, God. That's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy. Sometimes you can get them comped, but I don't know. This one is C. Good job. Get to know and have that modifier in your CPT book. I wrote the CLIA waiver and I did the ABN one, which is GA in my CPT book, right on the front cover. GA and QW for the CLIA waiver. Handy dandy, just write them in right there. That way you've got them during your exam. Super helpful. A lot of cardiology's issues is just knowing whether you're in an artery, I always tell you all this, or if y'all are in a vein. Another way that you can bundle these procedures after you do this is which are non-coronary bypasses and which are in other types of groups. They group these procedures a lot of times by the second and third digit. Those are a certain type of group of codes. So pay attention to the second and third numbers, because sometimes that means a new header where we would be coronary bypass grafts if we were in certain areas, or we're non-coronary if we're in these numbers. And just like with the digestive system, one of my best tips here is at the top of every page, what are we doing on these pages? So this is all mouth, the first 2 sets of codes, and then you get back here and we're only doing a totally different part of the body than, and we're doing anus or rectal back here. Every page has a certain procedure or body part that's being worked on. Same thing with the cardiology. And that will help you, because knowing what type of procedures are only done on these pages, you can eliminate some of those wrong answers quickly. So which one of these sets of codes is non-coronary? You may know. Thank you, Twinkle. Yeah, San Francisco's super expensive. And a lot of their buildings downtown are vacant now, so it's like a ghost town, but then they still charge you to park downtown. Good night, guys. I will see y'all on Wednesday night. We'll do 2 more hours, and hopefully I won't be so tired. Get some good rest between now and then. Last one. It is a good job. So these are central venous access procedures, which is super cool to know. These are your non-coronary bypass grafts. This set is all vascular injections, and these are therapeutic services. But anyway, super cool to go above and right on those top headers so that you can clear those ahead of time. If I'm not doing a venous access procedure, then I don't need to be here. I need to be somewhere else. If I'm vascular, then I know it's got to be here. Super cool. Anyway, neat little pattern that they have going on. And famous question that is always on a medical coding certification exam, always on, is when are ABNs signed? Services rendered prior to providing services, only when it's statutory, or if the patient requests for determination. This question will be on your exam, promise. It'll be written differently, but it'll be there. And your answer is always prior to providing services. I hope today's been helpful, guys. I will see you again on Wednesday. The link is already up on the YouTube channel, so you can already go click on it and hit notify me so that when I go live, you'll get the alert on your phone so that you can come back. What subjects do y'all want to cover on Wednesday? Anybody want to give me any suggestions? I know I've got an email of some questions from yesterday I got to put on there that I haven't done yet. I think it was integumentary question. I've got to do that one. And then I have a few dozen questions in our Discord group that people have asked me to do. But if you guys got any suggestions, what would you like to see happen on Wednesday? Good night. Good night, good night, good night. Cardiology, more cardio. Yep. Dev, I'm going to get your question on Wednesday night. I just didn't have time today. I had to work. Cardio. Okay. I see. Hernias. I love hernias. And they got new codes too for this year. Okay. Hernias, cardio, and I'm going to get your question on Wednesday night. Hypertension with diabetes. ICD-10. Vaccines. I just did some vaccines yesterday too, but the components are always an issue. All right. Good night, family. I love y'all. I'll see you on Wednesday. I hope this was helpful.